Shalom, shalom to the 144,000, the elect. Before I get started, let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Rakah HaKodash. The one to the apostle nails of great millstone. Peace and blessing to the brothers that are preaching the truth in the four winds of the earth. May Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, have mercy upon you. Alright, I'm going to be a dealer here, y'all. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But we're going to see do it make it through that fire. Right? So let's get right into it. So what I'm going to do, it's 23 minutes, y'all. So bear with me. So I'm going to do precept in between this one here, because this won't be pretty long.
Killed you said 6 million were killed in the Holocaust. Or do you not believe that either?
Okay. I mean, Jews have killed far more Christians. Well, Jews have killed far more. Let's just accept the 6 million figure. Jews have killed far more Christians than that. I mean, it's not even close. If you look at the Bolshevik genocide, you look at the Holodomor, I mean, they've killed way more Christians. I mean, they basically invented the genocide. So, you know, they denied the Armenian genocide. Israel denies that. They've lobbied the U.S. to deny that. I'm Armenian. They killed half of my people, so... You know, and I'm not offended by that. You know, if somebody questions that, it's not some crazy thing. I mean, Israel denies the Armenian Holocaust. Okay.
It sounds to me, Dan, like you do actually hate Jewish people.
The moment Piers Morgan asked that pointed question, the room seemed to hold its breath. Piers leaned forward, clearly anticipating something incendiary.
You see how he put the voiceover when he was answering the question? Huh? The name of this video, man, is Dan Bilzerian, Rex Piers Morgan in brutal Israeli / Hamas debate leaks the viral video. Okay, he's an Armenian, right? And we know what this devil is. You know, this tactic right here that what he using. This is the same thing that Vocab Malone be doing, man. Always trying to demonize and push forth negative, saying, you know, hate. You hate this or you hate that, or you kill this or you kill that. This is what they do. This is what they do. That was so proud.
Or headline worthy. Dan Bilzerian, on the other hand, didn't rush to answer. He paused, almost theatrically, as if weighing the gravity of what he was about to say. The tension in the air was palpable, and the silence stretched longer than anyone expected.
See how he talking over the voiceover? The man is answering, and he's talking over it. You know what I'm gonna try to do? Let me just turn it up a little more, so you can kind of like hear him say what he's saying, right? Because, I mean, I don't like the little voiceover, because when he really gets down, they take the little voiceover thing and put it on it. And I heard what he's saying, and he's talking about the LGBTQ and all that, and that's what he's talking about. He gonna get an opportunity to say it, but guess what? He's not gonna allow him to say it in the what word I'm looking for? In the bulk that he's speaking, because he's doing what? Doing this retarded voiceover.
Expected. Finally, Dan broke it with a response that was both thought-provoking and controversial.
No, I believe that Jewish supremacy is the greatest threat to the world today. I look at what they're doing in the media. They're pushing this transgender nonsense. I mean, and they did it in Germany. The first transgender clinic was opened by a Jewish guy. And I don't like this perversion pushed on our children. I don't like the fact that 9-year-olds are reading about homosexual acts. I don't like that drag queens are reading them in schools. I don't like that Kamala Harris wants to pay for sex changes in prison so that men can turn into women and women can turn into men. And I don't like the fact that he's putting in, you know, men into women's prisons, male rapists into women's prisons because they identify as women. I mean, it's just nonsense. I don't like, you know, men beating up women in boxing and sports. I think it's all nonsense, and I think it's leading to a degradation of moral fiber. And if left unchecked, I think it's going to ruin the world.
But again, you're blaming Jewish people. Why?
Questions like that
Now, here he go. Now, the man just spewed out what about a whole minute or 2 minutes of who and what they're doing, and then he come right behind it and say you're blaming them. You tell me these devils don't have control over these networks, man, and the things that comes out and that people hear and that persuade the people to. But you know what the world knows now though, because you know their hand is being exposed because the Heavenly Father is exposing all their asses, man, all of them. They're exposing the wicked, man, and these here are the wicked, man. These are Esau, Edom, grandchildren right here. Esau, Edom, grandchildren right here. The wicked. This is the top Edomites of all the Edomites. Hmm? And they've been what? They've been spewing a number of lies since they've since they've been put here on earth. This is Isaiah 2:11, and this is referring to Esau, the cave dweller. The lofty looks, Isaiah 2:11, the lofty looks of man shall be what? Humbled. And the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down. And the Lord Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. What day? The day of the Lord. For the day of the Lord, the day of the Lord Yahweh, that's the end of an age. They're going to be end of Esau, Edom's age. And a new beginning. And that new beginning is going to be what? The kingdom of heaven. For who? Us. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of this land. For the day of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, meaning armies, shall be upon every one that is proud. Who is more proud than Esau, Edom, the so-called white man? No one. No one is proud and lofty Esau. And upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be what? Brought low. Just as he's being brought low now today. What I hate to say something about Esau concerning their proudness and leave Eve out, but Eve don't control nothing. All Eve control is what? Is destroying of her home. That's what she controls. But this devil, him, the so-called white man, he controls all of the information that are being pushed out on the internet. What can be said and can't be said, and vice versa. So just bear with that voiceover crap and be patient.
Are always a double-edged sword. On one hand, they demand honesty, and on the other, they require careful navigation to avoid pitfalls like overgeneralization or appearing judgmental. Dan Bilzerian's answer was nuanced, albeit controversial. He addressed a sentiment that many share but are often hesitant to express, a disdain for what he perceives as the unchecked dominance of certain groups. However, he made a clear distinction, stating that he harbored no hatred for Jewish people as individuals, but took issue with what he described as the supremacist tendencies of some within their ranks. Dan framed his concerns within the broader cultural and political context, pointing to what he sees as harmful ideologies such as the promotion of LGBTQ rights, which he views through a conservative lens as detrimental to traditional societal values. Whether one agrees or disagrees with his perspective, it's undeniable that Dan's critique taps into larger debates about cultural shifts and their perceived impacts on humanity.
Let me get into the debate, man. I don't want to do all this crap. Let's get on to the debate. Here we go. They're pushing that mess there. Here we go. Damn. 1 second. Commercial. Can't click off it no more. Got to let it play on out. 1 second. Here we go. Here we go.
Whole of what happened, and the whole of what happened was Nakba. That's where it started. You have 750,000 Palestinians that got displaced, and then you've got multiple, acts of terror, in my opinion, on Israel's side that would make October 7th look like nothing. So to me, I think it was a retaliation, and I think that Hamas is a resistance organization, and I think that Israel is a terrorist.
When did Israel kill 1,200 people in a single day and wound nearly 7,000?
Well, I mean, you have, Nakba, there was, 15,000 people killed during Nakba. I mean, there was Sabra and Shatila. I mean, that was 3,500 civilians. Then you have 2014, they killed 1,500 civilians. 500 plus were kids. I mean, so any one of those days would have been much worse than October 7th, but nobody really talks about
those
that.
Didn't happen in a single
day. And October
day.
7th is not...
Look at them trying to justify. He said those didn't happen in a single day. Man, let me tell you something, man. The numbers that they would be given to people, those are not the true numbers, man. They're not the true numbers. There are way more people than been put to death over there, man, than what the numbers that they're reporting, man. You know, they still pulling people from under the rubble over there in the Middle East, man, so-called Middle East. These devils, man, I can't wait till these. Ooh, man, this pride in this, man, it's just luring out.
Not nearly as bad as what they say.
Well, those didn't happen in single days, as you know.
Well, I mean, you have, Sabra and Shatila, I mean, that was 3,500 people, so that was basically 7 October 7th, and October 7th, I think the numbers get inflated a lot, too, because you're not taking into account that it was only 650 civilians, and there was the Hannibal...
See there? He just said it, too. The numbers get inflated a lot. That's what they does.
Directive that was employed, and the Hannibal Directive is when the military is basically killing civilians so that they aren't taken as hostages, and that had to be hundreds of people. So I would argue that it was less than 500 civilians that were killed, and to me, that is much less than what the Israelis have been doing to the Palestinians.
But you said
even the year when October 7th happened, they had killed hundreds of Palestinians that year. It was the bloodiest year for kids. So that was a reply to what had been happening.
But when you say that October 7th wasn't as bad as people have said, what do you mean by that? Because from Hamas's own boasting through their GoPro cameras, they mutilated, burned alive, raped and abused, beheaded some people, set fire to homes. They kidnapped babies. They kidnapped Holocaust survivors, grandparents. They did just about every act of depravity it is possible to do. And they didn't just do it. They gleefully posted it on social media and the internet so that we could all watch in real time the horror.
Wait a minute now. How this devil gonna talk? You know how many videos that these people these Israelis and put up of them doing exactly what he just said? I'm already going a little bit above and beyond, so I don't want to just go just straight forward, but in a minute I may. Let's hear him out, man.
Horrors that they were perpetrating. It's hard to imagine a more horrific act than what happened that day. Why would you try to downplay it?
Well, I mean, there was only 2 babies killed from what I was told, and one was in the hospital, and the other one was shot by a bullet. There was no babies in ovens. There was no, beheaded people that I...
You know what he's speaking about now? He's speaking about the so-called event that they say, concerning Hitler. So that's what he's speaking about. He's speaking about that. The numbers been inflated with them lying about the number damn, you know what I'm talking about, the small hats. The number of small hats that have been put to death during the time of Hitler. During that time, it wasn't even 6 million people on the there wasn't people, just population just was not that mass as it is today. The lies are just spewing out. Let me get another precept right quick. Obadiah, let's go to Obadiah. Obadiah 3. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and we know all that the America, that's a miracle, right? And though thou set thy nest among the stars, that goes into their space programs, and I think that was in 1969, 69 to 70. That's when they first done their the space program. Among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. So the Most High is going to bring the wicked down, man. There, Malachi 1, 2 through 4, concerning who is the wicked. Let's get a little more.
I saw, the rapes were disproven, so all that was Israeli propaganda. And the problem is Israel has continued to lie and lie and lie, and they've been caught lying. And they're the only ones that have actually been caught red-handed raping prisoners. And they've done it, and the people that raped the prisoners were now heroes, and they got released, and there was nothing that happened to them. So I think it's very hypocritical to focus on things that they're doing and then try and blame them, on Hamas or the Palestinians.
It's interesting because,
it's just, to me, total bullshit. It's just Israeli propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, listen, many people will listen to you and think that what you're spewing is bullshit propaganda from the other side. And the reason I say that is you say there was no raping or abuse of women, and yet the UN Special Representative on Sexual Violence in Conflict, Pramila Patten, reported in March this year that there was clear and convincing information that Israeli hostages in Gaza experienced sexual violence, including rape, sexualized torture, and cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment, and reasonable grounds to believe such abuse is ongoing. There was also reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred during the 7th of October attacks in multiple locations across Gaza periphery, including rape and gang rape in at least 3 locations. So when you say it didn't happen, what you're really saying is you think that the United Nations report into all this, which established it absolutely did happen and was horrific, is what? Is a pack of lies? And if so, why would the United Nations lie?
Look, I wasn't there, but I have seen articles that said that it did not happen. So if it did happen, that's terrible, and I think that's atrocious. I don't ever believe in rape, but during Sabra and Shatia, there was a girl raped in front of her father. And, that's happened on the other side numerous times. I mean, it happened in the prison. I mean, they were literally rioting because they felt like they had the right to rape these prisoners. So, to me, I think it's a bit hypocritical. You can't believe that you have the right to rape prisoners and then complain about them raping, your civilians as well. So I don't think it just can only go one way. I think it's atrocious on both sides.
You said Hamas are not terrorists.
Man, you can't wait, man, until the Most High, man, Yahweh Shem Shah, man, bring these devil down, man. This shit is vexing as hell, man, to see these people just look you in the eyes daily, day after day, day after day, after day after day after day, and they have deceived the masses like no other, with their influence, with their FRNs. Esau Edom controls the narrative daily because, even with our people as well, the one that you see preaching against the truth and coming against the truth, Esau Edom is paying them people, man. Paying a handful of these so-called black men, paying a handful of these so-called black women to spew up the madness and the lies and have them act as though that what's happening is not happening. They control everything because they control this money. But soon the devil's money is not going to be any good in a minute, right? Because that goes into a whole lot of other aspects of what's coming or what's about to come. Jacob's trouble. Then Jacob's trouble going to lead to what that MOTB. The hell on earth, man. So you all think you all going through something now. You're going to definitely go through something in the days to come. This is Isaiah 13 and 11. And I will punish the world for their evil. And the wicked, Esau Edom, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He controls the earth. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
Army fighting for their country against the worst terror organization on the planet. And yet Hamas were given power in Gaza in 2005. They were given billions of dollars, a lot of it in a very suspect manner by Benjamin Netanyahu and his government, because he wanted to create a rift between Palestinian groups, and I completely accept that. But there's no doubt from what has now emerged that Hamas spent most of that money not on benefiting the lives of Palestinian people in Gaza, but on building an elaborate tunnel system and arming themselves to the teeth so that they could perpetrate this act of horror on October the 7th in a strike against Israel that they hope would decapitate Israel. I'm just curious why you would go out of your way. You say you've read things, but you're a guy of big influence. You've got a big following, 30-odd million people on Instagram. With respect, and I say this respectfully, I understand why you want to support the Palestinian cause, and I'm sure there'll be many points of agreement we would have on that. But just to say, well, I read somewhere there were no rapes and abuse, it doesn't seem to me like you've really studied, or perhaps don't even want to study, the facts about all this, because it would go against your own narrative. Would that be fair?
I mean, look, I got no dog in this fight, Pierce. I'm not Palestinian. I'm not Muslim. I'm just saying what I believe is right. And let's just say there was rapes. I mean, I think that's terrible. But like I said, they are, an occupied state, and they're operating in apartheid. So when you are kept in an open air prison, there's going to be resistance, and how that resistance manifests itself is, it's.
Look how they blew it. They shook the. Look how they blew all those buildings up, man, behind them.
It's going to be violent eventually. I mean, if you kill enough people and you take enough land and you treat people like second-class citizens, and and you're stealing land in the West Bank, and you're just
looked like they were trying to get the airport, and they ended up hitting right before the airport. Looked like they were trying to get the runways and stuff. So hey, these devils are always doing wrong, man. Always doing wickedness, and not being blamed for it, because they're what. They're the best at hiding their wickedness.
It's basically, encroaching these people's human rights on a daily basis. There's going to be repercussions. So, I'm not going to be the judge or jury, and I'm not going to condemn these people for fighting back. I think nobody had an issue with, South African apartheid and their resistance. So I don't know why there's an issue with the resistance in the clear apartheid that's going on here.
You went on a Patrick Bet-Davis podcast. He's a friend of this show. You said the Jews killed JFK, and that Israel wanted October the 7th to happen so that Israel, had a reason to take the land. Let's just discuss those two things. What do you mean the Jews?
Now he's gonna go in. He's gonna go in concerning the all of the so-called what should I call them? I'm trying to watch my words, man, but it's kind of hard. The thing that took place over here with presidents, and let's just hear it out. He gonna go into it, but let's just hear it out.
Killed JFK.
So I believe that was an Israeli Mossad operation. And they've committed multiple false flag attacks. I mean, they've, the USS Liberty, you've got the Levin affair. I mean, so they've got a history of doing this, and I don't think it's crazy to think that they were involved in that assassination, and that's the reason that Trump didn't want to, release those files. And I think clearly it had to be embarrassing. Otherwise, why wouldn't he want to release it? And that's the only thing that I could think of that would be embarrassing, because everybody from that time is pretty much dead. But
they have a history of assassinating presidents and people here with high statues that come against America.
By now, so it would make sense. I mean, they wanted to cut off, it's now AIPAC, but the Zionist, organization that was doing all the funding that should have been registered as a foreign entity, and he wanted to register them under FARA. He wanted to, take away their ability to have nukes, and they didn't like that. So I believe that they killed JFK.
But just to be clear, you have absolutely no evidence that any Jews killed JFK, do you? Nothing.
Well, I mean, that's not true. I mean, Jack Rubenstein, that was the person that killed the supposed Patsy Lee Harvey Oswald. I mean, he was a Jewish mob guy. And, there's been numerous documentaries tying the, Jewish mafia, the CIA. I mean, look, I mean, I wasn't there, but everything that I've seen evidence-wise points to Israel.
Really?
And, they're doing it in Epstein Island. They did it in Epstein Island. I mean, they've...
Yeah, but here's the problem I have with this. You say everything you've seen, right? It just seems to me like you see a lot of conspiracy theory stuff. I've read a lot about the JFK assassination. There is zero evidence that any Jews killed John F. Kennedy. Zero. Unless you want to go off into some mad conspiracy theory rabbit hole. I say to you that you make these big statements and you have a huge following of people, many of whom will think, well, wow, if Dan Bilzerian says it, maybe it's true. And that way, I would argue, this is how a lot of conspiracy theory stuff in the end gets propagated and promoted to the detriment of society. Because people like you who are very smart, there's no question of that, and very successful, and made a lot of money being very successful, I'm just curious why you want to be...
Sometimes, let me say this here, y'all. Opposition, they both could be creating what is the confusion or whatever. But I mean, what he's saying is he's on point with what he's saying. But both just like the Republicans and Democrats, they both would. They are just one. They are both are one. There's no such thing as they are being the only ones that are separated among one another is the people, not the ones that are running for what for the presidency. This is Jeremiah 50 and 29. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon. That's America. To make the land of Babylon, because America is the daughter of Babylon, right? The land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. America will be destroyed just as well as Israel will be destroyed. And what's going to be left over here in America? Nothing. Israel is going to be leveled too. And it appears that it's already getting leveled quite a bit, that they're not reporting and speaking about because they're what? They want to hide the hell that they're catching by the hands of the Arabs over there in the so-called Middle East. So you can think that they're what? They're still this mighty one that are on the earth that no one can touch them. The mighty, verse 30, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might has failed. They became as women. You got a vice president over here, a damn woman, right? They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Because America is what? Daily by day is what? Declining. Right? One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon, Esau Edom, that his city is taken at one end. And you can go to what? Isaiah 47. Let's just hear a little more before I go there.
So inflammatory without actually having any evidence. And as you say, to just sit back and say, well, I wasn't there. Well, I wasn't there. Obviously, I wasn't even born. But I know that there were there's no credible evidence that Jewish people killed JFK. And yet you just say it as a fact, as if somehow we should just believe this.
No, I didn't say it as a fact. I said that's what I believe. And if you look at, the history of people that have criticized Israel, Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, JFK, Nixon, they all have similar fates. And so I don't think that's a coincidence. I also think that today a lot of, quote-unquote conspiracy theories have all come true. So, about, 2-3 years ago, being a conspiracy theorist, you were a nut job, wacko, whatever. And now it's just like every single one of them seems to be coming true, coming to fruition. So I don't know. I mean, I think once you see the government lie to you and lie to you on a scale like they did during COVID, you start questioning a lot of things. And I think it's healthy to question things. And I think one of the big reasons why I've marched down this path so far is because once I started questioning Israel and once I started speaking out against Israel, I saw the ramifications and I saw the pushback. And the side of right is usually
the pushback of them coming against them. And he's gonna go into it and talk about what's his name, Kanye.
never the side that's silencing people. You know, the people that are on the right side of history are not the ones trying to, cut off free speech or punish people for what they say.
The historical claim Dan brought up next was another moment that turned the
I don't want to hear this crap. I don't want to hear him speak. Right? Because he just, let me see how 4 years.
as examples.
I don't want to hear that. He's doing that voiceover, man, to break up what's being said.
Armenian brought.
I don't want to hear that either. 1 second, bear with me.
Truths, and that conversations like these are necessary.
Ashkenazi Jews. I don't even think they're.
Let me back up a little.
Look, I have an issue with that term. I mean, I think the real Semites are the Palestinians. I mean,
hold on, let me back up
the DNA test.
Back it up.
Truths, and that conversations like these are necessary for real understanding, even if uncomfortable.
Right, do you accept, Dan, that you are just blatantly anti-Semitic?
Look, I have an issue with that term. I mean, I think the real Semites are the Palestinians. I mean, the DNA test that they've done on the Israelis that are living over there, they're Eastern European Ashkenazi Jews. I don't even think they're actual Semites. They don't have ancient Hebrew DNA, which is why DNA testing is illegal in Israel.
But, I mean, you're literally denying their existence now. I mean, you are just a brazen anti-Semite, aren't you? You hate Jewish people. You hate Israel. You hate the state of Israel, its government, everything about it. You're blaming them. You blame them in this interview for literally absolutely everything.
When you say, well, I think most of the problems today is caused by Jewish supremacy. I believe that.
He got caught in them lies, y'all. That's why he paused. Look how long he paused before he said anything. This is Isaiah 47:10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. That's their secret society. They thinking that they continue to be hidden, and that the wickedness that they continue to spew upon the earth, that no one sees them. It's a lie. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom in thy knowledge, it has perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am and none else besides me. They proud and boasting in their what? In their wickedness. That's what they do. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come unto thee suddenly, which thou shalt what? Shalt not know. Stand now with thy enchantments, they spells and their witchcraft and things that they're what? That they're always going to make their witchcraft, thinking that it's going to get them out of what? Their troubles. And with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be, thou shalt be able to what? To profit. If so be thou what? Mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsel. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, all this witchcraft, y'all, monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from what? These things, which is going to be what? Their ending, which is the nuclear destruction that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame, the nuclear missiles. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it, because that's what? That's going to bring what? Total destruction and their annihilation. Let's hear a little more.
I'm honestly gobsmacked that you would say all this publicly, given what a high profile you have.
Yeah, I mean, it is not a.
He threatened them, man. He threatened them with his high profile, talking about the money that he have. And we know who controls that. That's what he's trying to go into now.
It's not a popular opinion for somebody that cares about money and cares about not being canceled. I mean, that's the problem. Is you can say whatever you want against Muslims. You can be super anti-Muslim. You can talk about them and nobody cares. But if you say anything about Jewish people, you get canceled. They, look what they did to Kanye. I mean, so why are they such a protected class? Let me ask you that.
I don't think they are. I think they're a class that get targeted by people like you.
The world knows that. He said he don't think they are. You know he's been a damn hypocrite.
And indeed by Kanye, who spewed horrible anti-Semitic nonsense. But yours, it seems to me, to be more insidious, because you're literally blaming.
You're literally blaming. With respect, let me finish. Not the other way around.
You're literally blaming Jewish people for almost everything that's happened that you don't like in the world. That is the purest personification of anti-Semitism.
Who controls the world? Who controls the world? Every aspect. Who owns all the banks? Who are the bankers? Who own all the music, the rap, the music that they put out? Who own all of these things? All those men are what? Are small hats. They own everything. Everything. The banks, everything. They even own you.
Right there. That's what it is.
Well, when you have a religion that promotes supremacy, when you have a religion that says that you are better than other people, and when you have a religion that says it's okay to steal from other people as long as they're not Jewish, when you have a religion that says it's okay to rape people that aren't Jewish, when you have a religion that talks about having sex with, kids that are under 3 years old, when you have a religion that promotes these things and promotes supremacy, I think you're going to have problems. And you see that in Israel. Israel is a manifestation of that religion. And I think that religion is, it's terrible. I don't believe in white supremacy. I don't believe in Jewish supremacy. I don't believe in supremacy.
Paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right?
1 second, y'all. Shalaki. All right.
At all. And right now, I think you have massive Jewish supremacy.
You sound like a Nazi.
Hey, man. This is Habakkuk 2:5. Ye also because he transgresseth by wine. Who has given the world all of these philosophies and wicked religions, right? And who has the policies, right? All of the policy ideals, right? He is a proud man and neither keepeth at home. And they everywhere. They always destroying and blowing up people's homes and blowing up buildings to do what? So all they want to do is blow up everything and then come in and offer them money, put their bank in there. Then they put their bank in there. They put their FRNs up in there. And then what? Now they own everybody. Now they can tax you because they got their money up in there. Your money up in there. Their money. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. Meaning what? The grave or death. Esau loves blood, man. This is why they'll gun you down at the instant of a what? At the and is as death. And is as death and cannot be what? Satisfied. He want it all, man. They want it all. But gathereth unto him all nations. So you can get ready. The New World Order going to consist of what? That microchip. And in the process of the microchip, what? The new World Order, the microchip. So that's going to be you gathering together with who? All nations, with meaning that what? That you are going against the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And heapeth unto him all people.
I mean, why do you say that?
That's literally what Nazis would have said in World War II. They would have literally articulated their hatred of Jewish people and the reasons why in exactly the way you've just done.
I don't have a hatred for Jewish people.
You do?
I don't like a religion that says that they're better than other people. And what's that?
Well, you do. You obviously do. It's blatant. No one watching this will draw any other conclusion. I'm staggered about how brazen you've been.
Well, Yeah, I mean, I don't like it when people think they're better than other people, and you see that in Israel, and they're acting like that, and they're treating Palestinians like second-class citizens. They're treating them like subhuman beasts, and it sells that in their Talmud. So it says if you are not a Jew, that you are basically subhuman. And I don't think that Judaism and Christianity go hand in hand. I mean, they believe that Jesus is in hell burning in human shit, and they believe that the Virgin Mary is a whore. So I don't think those are two religions that really intersect very well. But we've been programmed that they do, and we've been programmed that it's okay and that Jews are the chosen people, and I just disagree with that. I think everybody's equal.
Do you even comprehend how this interview is going to play out when it airs?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be bad. But, my opinion is not politically correct, but I believe that is the truth.
You're living in Qatar now.
Well, that's where I'm at right now. I'm not living here, but visiting.
Right? Is it the case that you feel safer to spew this kind of?
But you trying to find a way yet, y'all. Why they do that, y'all? You know what they does. Esau is the best at what? At putting you in that grave. Seeking your what? Your whereabouts for what? For you to be what? Found out for what? For you to be put to death.
Stuff from Qatar than you would spewing it in the United States.
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of Jewish people attack me since I started standing up in support of Palestine. When I started saying things that were against Israel, I found that I had my Jewish business manager tried to extort me. I had lawyers do things that were illegal, and I found a lot of just hatred from the Jewish community because I was speaking out against a genocide, and that really opened my eyes to what's going on.
So that opened his eyes. He was speaking about what was going on over there, the genocide, meaning what? Putting people to death, bombing and killing people. So he spoke out against it. So now they're what? They're coming against him, attacking him like it did Kanye, and he ain't in America though. He not in America. If he was in America, whatever it is, whatever assets, you can best believe, whatever assets that if he do own anything in America, guess what? If he own anything in America, he no longer will be owning it.
You know why Jewish
people? Like I said, rarely is it the case that people on the right side of history are the ones that are trying to silence people.
Yeah, the reason Jewish people may dislike you is because of your obvious hatred for them and everything they stand for. I mean, you've literally spent the last 20 minutes on an anti-Semitic rant that makes Kanye look like a choir boy. I'm staggered, but also bemused as to what you think you'll gain from this, other than you're just laying bare your anti-Semitism for everyone to see.
I don't think I'm going to gain anything. I think it'll be horrible for me. But it's what I believe. I don't think that Jews like Christians, and you see it when they killed them during the Holodomor, the Bolshevik genocide. I mean, the Bolsheviks, the leadership was 84% Jewish, and they were just mass killing Christians, and nobody talks about that.
What stood out most in this interview?
Who killed more people in America, man? In the world, Christians. Who are they? Right? So let me get this right here right quick. I'm gonna close this out. I'm not gonna play anymore. I think that'll be it right there. I'm gonna see that I make that my thing right there. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. One second. Oh shit! Let it play. 1 second. Bear with me. Okay. All right. Let's go to Second Esdras 11 and verse 42. For thou hast afflicted the meek. That one go down. Yes. For thou hast afflicted the meek. No, let's go here first. Sorry about it. Let's go here first. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. No. Bear with me, y'all. 11. Second Esdras 11:42. I'm gonna do that. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwelling of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest, the Most High, and thy pride unto what? The mighty. The highest also has looked upon the proud times. And who been more proud than Esau eating the so-called white man, the devil of the earth, man? No one, man. And behold, they are ended as his abominations are fulfilled. So Esau, you're coming to your end. And therefore appear no more thou eagle. Yeah, that proud eagle, y'all, nor thy horrible wings, nor in the beginning, that's it goes into the wings, the 12 feathers, wings, concerning which is what the heads of what of these the ones that are rulers. Let's go. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, because we know that the European nations, especially America, is what? It's their eagle. So the wings and the birds are what? They are referring to nations of what? Of people, of kingdoms. Nor thy malicious heads. That goes into what? The 12 feather wings, which is heads of what? Of kingdoms. Nor, which is men. Nor thy what? Thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed, and may return being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. This is all Ecclesiasticus 10 and 9. Why is the earth in ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. Esau Edom wants the whole world, man. He got the world, but he wants more. He want to continue to what? To gather what? All things in possession unto himself. For such an one settle his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. The physician, Yahweh Shai, cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, Esau Edom / Babylon, tomorrow shall die. So that note say, call her long Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, we'll call her Kodash. Shalom.